Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Isaiah, and today I wanted to show you a super easy way to add synths to your music without owning any synth plugins or knowing how to do sound design. In our most recent sample pack, Cold Essentials, we included a folder of one-shot synth sounds, and we got a few questions on how to use them, so I figured I'd hop on here and show you how to get the most out of them. In most cases, these samples are pretty much there to be used as the synth sound, meaning you can load these into your DAW sampler or any freeloader like Kontakt and drag and drop the file in and use the keys on a MIDI keyboard or MIDI, very similar to keyboard presets that don't have onboard generators for the synth. This allows you to pretty easily find the sound you're after and add synths to your music without the new price tag or complexity of learning a new synth process. Now, this doesn't mean those older options don't make sense, as I do think it's in your best interest to have a knowledge of both, and I think each shines in its own way. For example, with the synth plugin, you're going to have a lot more flexibility, although you're going to have a lot more prior knowledge to get to where you're wanting to go. Whereas with a synth one-shot sound, you're going to have a lot less flexibility, being that most of the sound is baked in, but you're going to have a lot less trouble getting to the sound you're after if one of the sounds that you're looking for is included in a pack that you own. Knowing a little bit of both just allows you to get the best of both worlds and be able to create those unique sounds when you need them. In this session here, I actually had a melodic loop that was pretty cool, but I wasn't fully set on the synth sound. This is also great for if a loop inspires an idea, but you still want to be able to change it up and make it your own when you use it in your final track. In this case, I didn't actually have the MIDI due to it being a loop, so I threw it into Very Audio and was able to pretty much quantize the notes out. And all I did was come down here and choose Extract MIDI, which allowed me to pull those notes out of the loop and be able to use them in the synth. Keep in mind, this is almost never perfect, so you're going to want to export without pitch drift info and always go back in and clean up the MIDI. But if you're like me and you're not someone who's quick to be able to play stuff back out, this can save you a ton of time. Once you've got your MIDI exported, you definitely want to check and make sure that the octave is correct on them, because sometimes a synth sound will put it down an octave lower or way up in the high octave, and just make sure that it's going to be somewhere in place to make sense for the type of sound you're working with. For example, this was a high bell sound, so when this went to C2 range, I knew it was a little too low, so I bumped it up 2 octaves. Once you have your cleaned up MIDI, all you need to do is open up your DAW's free sampler and drop in various synth sounds and just check which one sounds best with your MIDI. And out of those couple, I think Downward Slider actually sounded the best for this case. We'll hear that one more time. And once you've found your favorite sound, most samplers also have different features to help shape the samples as you play them, such as cutoff filters, LFOs, time stretching, you name it, it's probably in there. You can also add in your reverb and delay to the sound, as most of the one-shot synths come pretty dry to help avoid weird artifacts in the time-based effects. This is going to help smoothen out the sound in some cases, like this guitar piano sound where you really want it to be a bit more drowned out. If needed, you can also add any EQ or compression you like, but past that, it's really a choice of what sample you like and what fits your song best. And that's really all the steps it takes to add some synths to your music, regardless if you have a synth plugin or not. If you'd like to watch another video on how to make your track sound larger than life with post-production effects, check this one out over here, and happy songwriting.